Hey everyone, welcome to React Native Made Easy tutorials. So today I'm going to explore a new topic on React Native, and that is we will be seeing how we can use WordPress as a backend for our React Native app. So whoever is trying to learn React Native, or whoever is a React Native developer, most of them are familiar with web technologies and most of them are web developers. So first we learn web technologies and then we are fascinated by React Native, that how it is using JavaScript to uh, create apps for mobile, and we start learning React Native. So so I think that most of us who are React Native developers are familiar with WordPress, but I find that WordPress is very underrated as a backend for mobile apps. But if you see that for some specific type of mobile application, WordPress could be very useful, because WordPress is a backend framework, a PHP framework in itself. It has its own queries and it has its own complete structure, and it is a complete package in itself. And it also allows to it also allows the feature of REST API. So, and another big advantage of WordPress is that it can be implemented on a shared hosting, so it can be very cost effective. So uh, most of my clients are looking for a cost effective solution for uh, creating a web application. So I think that if your app doesn't have much of the features, much of the real-time features, then I think WordPress can be very useful, very cost effective. So from WordPress version 4.7, the the WP REST API has been improved a lot, and they have made it an integral part of the WordPress. And earlier to this version, we had to install a plugin for enabling the feature of REST API, but from 4.7 it is enabled by default and it is the part of WordPress. So every time a new version of WordPress is released, some or the other improvement to the REST API is being made, and REST API is being they are trying to make it more powerful and more easy to use. So so the bottom line is that it's high time to learn this and use it as a mobile app backend. And the thing is that for some of the apps it can be very useful. So uh, here I have just listed some of the steps that you can easily follow, and if you are whether you are familiar with WordPress or not, you can follow it, and you can uh, create a simple backend for your mobile app. So this is the first part, and this is all related to backend for now. And so let's see what we need to do to use WordPress as a backend for React Native. So the first thing is that you have to install a WordPress on your local host or on your web host, anywhere you can install. And once the WordPress installed, make sure you use 4.7 version or the version greater than this, uh, so that the WP REST API feature is integrated in it. Or if you are having a old version, just use the REST API plugin that is available, and REST API will be ready to be used. So once your WordPress website is there, then you can just start writing the REST API queries. So the main thing that I would like to highlight here is this action. Okay, let's come to this action a little later. Let's go step by step. So once your WordPress website is there, then we will create a plugin. We are creating a plugin because we don't want to modify any of the codes of the theme or existing plugin, because most of us use a theme or plugin from that is a premium theme or plugin. So the premium theme and plugins are updated time to time, and if we change the code of that theme or plugin, the updation will delete those codes. So we are not going to write our code in any of those theme or plugins, and we will be doing it separately in a separate plugin. So first step now will be here to create a new plugin, and fortunately creating a new plugin is very easy. You just need to go to WordPress directory. Inside WordPress directory you need to go to plugins, and inside plugin you need to create a new directory, and the name of the new directory should be the name of the plugin that you want to create. So here I have already created a plugin that has name TSC dash listing pro. So this is the name of my plugin as well as the name of the directory, and inside this directory I have created one file. Again, the name of the file is same as the directory, with the exception of a .php extension, and this is the code what we have here. So this is the information that we need to include when we are creating a plugin. This is self explanatory information: name of the plugin, the URI, and description, version, author's name, and author's URI. So it's very simple and self explanatory, and as soon as you add this information to the main file of the plugin, your plugin, the simplest version of the plugin is ready, and you can go to admin panel of your WordPress website, and in the admin panel, once we go to the plugins listing page, here is the plugins listing page. We will find our plugin listed there, and you can see TSC listing pro is here, and all the information that we have added, you can see it here. So all we have to do is that we have to add this information, and the the simplest version of plugin will be ready. After that, there won't be any functionality in this plugin right now. It won't be showing any functionalities, okay, but if we want to add some features of REST API, if we want to create some endpoints, then we have to move further and write some code. So let's see what we need to do next. So this is the code that you should add after that, once your simple version of plugin is ready. So let's see what's there in this code. So here I have a function which is basically a handler, and in the handler we have written a query. This is the query to get all the posts, and there is a filter for this post, that is it will get only posts of which author ID is matched with the author ID that is supplied. So here we are supplying author ID, and uh, it is checked with the author ID of all the posts, and that only those posts that match the criteria will be fetched, and then we will check whether there is any post with the matching criteria or not. If it's empty, there is no post, we will return null. If there are posts, then what we will do is that we will take the first element of the array object and return the title of the post. So that's all what's going in this function, which is the handler. And here we are uh, using the WordPress hook. So there are two types of WordPress hook, and one is of type action. So here we are using action hook, and this REST API init is the action hook that we are using here. And this is the most important part of this article, this REST API init. This action hook is what is allowing us to create the endpoint for our REST API. So here we are registering the route for the REST API that we want to use, and this is basically the format, the syntax of uh, the endpoint that we will create. And here we are registering the our handler, so that once we use this endpoint, this handler is called and the query is executed there, and whatever data it needs to return is getting returned. So right now, even if you are not understanding this much, you will understand it once you see this. This is the basically endpoint that will be active after this code is put into the plugin file. So here we have this code, and so let's sorry, here we have this code, and let's see if this is working. Okay, there is little bit change in the code. I will copy this code from here and use it here. And see things in action. So now I will copy this URL and see if this is returning something for us. REST invalid handler. Okay, I think I need to change this according to my code. Still it is not working. Let me see what's wrong. Sorry, this is correct. This is correct, but version 1 author my listing function. Okay, so this is the problem. Our handler name is incorrect, and now it should work. Okay, so it is returning hello world because that's the title of the first post, and that's what it's returning. So it's our endpoint is working as per our requirement. So this is the first query that we have done. So you must have noticed by now that the query is only the thing that will change in all the endpoints that we will create. Basically that is what will change, and from here we are supplying the parameter. Okay, and using this parameter we are filtering our uh, the query, and the result that we are getting, we are returning it. So basically this query is what will change in all the endpoints that we will create. For example, here we are fetching all the taxonomy, that is the categories of the custom categories. So we need to use this query because we need to fetch custom queries. So here you can see we are fetching only the taxonomy of type listing categories. So, and which has, that is the main category and not the subcategory, so the parent is equals to 0. So once this is executed, all the categories are being fetched. So let's see this in action as well. Okay, we already have this code, so I will just replace the handler name and keep the endpoint same, and it will return whatever this handler is returning. Let's see. Okay, you can see here all the categories of type listing category are getting returned. So that's exactly what our query should do. So we tested our second endpoint. We didn't change anything in the endpoint, but we just changed the query in the handler. So in this way, here I have listed two more codes, and these codes are also of similar type. This is for subcategory and this is for the listing. And I would also like to show you that I have created the custom posts automatically. So basically I am using a theme here. I am using a theme, List Pro, that is available online. Sorry, the name is Listing Pro. This is the theme, and once I installed this Listing Pro, it automatically created the custom posts, custom categories, and as well as custom subcategories. So that's the reason it got automatically created, and I'm able to fetch it. So I didn't code it, I didn't create it myself. I have installed a theme, Listing Pro. So this is a nice theme, and if you don't want to buy this theme, okay, you can just create this custom posts and custom categories yourself, or you can just use the post and categories that are already there. Okay, you just need to change the type of this type you need to change, and it will work. So this is just, I wanted to give you an idea how we can create endpoints using WordPress. And once the endpoints are ready, basically your most of the part of your backend is ready. So here I haven't covered how to uh, authenticate and how to use the mm, security things but the thing is that we can do it in next tutorials. But I think you must have got the idea of how to use WordPress to create endpoints for your app. And these queries, these are very useful queries of WordPress, and it took me a lot of time to search these queries, and most of the queries on internet are outdated. They are of old WordPress version, and in the latest version quite a lot of things have changed, so those queries are not working anymore. So that's one of the reason also that I wanted to put this online so that if someone uh, find it quickly, then he can use it for their project. So I hope guys you would have liked this tutorial, uh, and this is the only the first part. In second part we will use these endpoints to make something useful in a React Native app, and that will give you further idea that how easy and how fast WordPress backend can be to create a React Native app. And if you like this tutorial and find it useful, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as subscribe to the newsletter, and stay tuned to React Native Made Easy. Thank you.